Hello there folks, it is TIJ Gaming and welcome to part 6 of our MotoGP 19 career mode, our rider career, with our own rider. And today we go to the Spanish Grand Prix, the Gran Premio Red Bull de España, where it all started a few days ago in part 1, where we started the Red Bull Rookies Cup. Then we go to the 5th race of the season in Le Mans for the Shark Helmets Grand Prix de France. So, bit of a recap of what happened last episode. As always, I recommend you go and watch that episode before watching this one, which you can find on the channel in the playlist. So, we are now second in the championship. We've risen from third to go above Sergio Garcia, and therefore it is a Britain 1-2, and hopefully in these two races we can try and get above Tom Bouvamos in the championship. But we got our first Moto3 win, full stop, in the last episode at Coach. It was a great race. We're probably too far ahead. As you see, our fastest lap was way ahead of anybody else. And then we finished in second in Argentina, very, very, very close to Bouvamos, actually getting a faster lap there in the end, but he just about prevailed. Now, there's been a patch since the last episode, so fingers crossed. The AI performance is very similar to us, and that so there's a little bit more consistency between races. But let's see and find out, and let's now go to Q1, where of course we have to qualify in the top 4 to reach Q2 in Jerez. So we've qualified through to Q2 without any real issue, to be honest. I'm just really overwhelmed at the fact we went that quickly, because we were set for around about a 153 dead, which should have put us quite close, to be fair, with the rest of the field. And in the last sector, we gained a second and a half, so absolutely bonkers. We're through to Q2 with no issue, so no worries about denting any hopes for a championship charge. But can we potentially? Can we beat Bouvamos and Garcia and make sure we go for the front of that front row of the Grand Prix qualifying? So, it's clear for Q2. Let's see how we get on. We're looking good on our banker lap to potentially go pole with our first attempt. Now, Bouvamos hasn't set a lap time, but Garcia... Oh, hello there, Binder. Garcia sets a lap time of 52 dead. Can we beat that with 6 attempts up before the last corner? Oh, Binder and Fernandez have a little bit of a slow speed crash there. That could have been very much a lot nastier. Got to get the last corner better, and these two riders having a scrap in front really isn't going to help, but hopefully it doesn't affect us too much. And our first time, it looks like it's going to be good. It's going to be a 1:51. Wow, 1:51.9. But as I say, Bouvamos has not set a time yet, and he's usually the extraordinary in terms of setting a really good time. He's going to do one more lap and see if that's enough to go pole. Well, I said it might be Bouvamos who sets the fast lap. It's Garcia. He's just improved his delta by 9 tenths of a second. Been a poor lap, this has to be fair. Well, it's going to need another one for us to get on pole. But we can do it because we've set a 1:51.5 before, but that was a pretty special lap, so we're going to have to replicate that and do it quite quickly in the next 2 laps. We just can't seem to get any rhythm, to be honest. Our first 2 sectors were really good, but that's not going to help being on the rumble strips. But Garcia has improved even more, so it might be the back end of the front row, and I don't need to tell you, well, I don't know exactly who it is, but that's quite a shocking run through there. But I could guess it's Bouvamos who's second. So we'll find out, but this isn't going to be a personal best lap. Just trying to line it up to get a best run for a third and last lap. Let's see how we get on. Can we beat Garcia? I doubt it. All or nothing here, but we're 3 tenths down once again in that third sector. It's not even a personal best. Really don't know what we did on our first attempt in that sector, and I don't know how on earth we got a 51.5 last time. I mean, that's as I say, it was a really mega lap to be able to get that. We need a really good run out of the last corner. I don't know how close Bouvamos is, or whoever is in second to Garcia, so it's well worth going around the last corner, putting everything into this, because maybe we could still get second place, or who knows, pole. I don't think it's going to be enough for pole. Let's have a look. We come across the line. 5th, 49, 50, 51.490! Oh, well, we pushed it like mad, and yes, it was Bouvamos, who was now third, and we split the pole seat to who is going to be Garcia on the Galizia Honda, and Bouvamos. What a lap that was, and what a race this could be.
Hello and welcome to the Jerez de la Frontera circuit. Just a few more minutes before the Moto3 race at the Spanish Grand Prix finally begins. The weather is great and the temperature is perfect for racing, so we're just waiting to find out which riders have opted for hard tyres and which have opted for soft.
Here we go then, the Angel Nieto circuit. It's now lined off across the legend, the Circuito de Jerez. Second place we start, the middle of the front row. It's uncharted territory. I don't think we've qualified second so far this year. I think it's either been pole or third. So, the middle of the two. Let's see how we get on. It's exciting times. Probably need to put manual starts on for the next episode. Forgot to do that, but I was taking a little bit longer to load than usual. But I'm very excited for this race. Can we make it 2 wins out of 2? Or is this man going to win? Or is it going to be Bouvet Amos? Is that going to be the next man which shows? Yes. It's developing into quite the championship race between the three of us. And this result, and this order, Garcia first or second, and Bouvet Amos in third, would be very interesting in closing up the championship. Of course, it would be the reverse of what the championship is at the moment, which makes things very, very interesting. But we're ready anyway, at the front of the grid. The lights are on, above the riders. And for the fourth race of the season, we are now trying to put as much power down as we possibly can. Not the best start, but certainly a little bit of a better start than Garcia next to us. As I say, we probably need to put those manual starts on just to standardise the starts a little bit more. But that wasn't the best first corner. We've been overtook by 4 bikes, but just getting the 2 coming out of the corner. But Bouvet Amos potentially trying to set up a move on Garcia. Can't quite make it work with being shunted into this corner. And Albert Arenas has already fell off the bike. Not the best way to start his Moto3 GP here at Jerez. We need to get past this third place man. I don't know who it is. It doesn't say. Oh, we're getting very close with Matsia. It is. Blimey, that's very, very touchy-feely. But we get past him and hopefully he's gone now. We don't really want to be preoccupied by somebody like him in a race that we've got against our 2 rivals and the 3 protagonists in this Moto3 Championship fight, it seems so far. But Bouvet Amos takes second. Garcia keeps his first place, and this looks very tight between the 3 of us. Bouvet Amos goes a little bit wide. Matsia trying to go to the inside. We take a little bit of an outside line going into there, but I should say we are back past Matsia. Now trying to stay on the rumble strip, just get as close as we can to the guys ahead, but potentially their qualifying pace was a hint that they're going to be pretty quick around here and pretty tricky to try and catch. What on earth was that? Jesus Christ, I think I'll hopefully cut to earlier on. But what on earth was that? Matsia went up the inside. Well, I wouldn't quite call it the inside. It was very much the inside. Just complete kamikaze. I think he forgot where the brake pedal was and just fell off. That was interesting. But as you can see, the top 2 have pretty much gone. I don't know whether we've just lost a bit of rhythm. I mean, I said this throughout qualifying. We pulled off 1 stellar lap. But in a race, of course, it's not about 1 stellar lap. It's about doing every lap as consistently as possible. But they are having a little bit of battle ahead, so that might be a little bit helpful, pardon me, for us going into the next 5 laps. But it looks like Bouvet Amos is going to make a move, so we will stay with this for a little while longer if he decides to make a move into turn 1. This could be crucial for the race. Bouvet Amos trying to push his way past. Shouldn't be watching that too much, just so we can focus on our own riding. But he went up the inside. Garcia did stop him, and now Garcia's put the block on him. So this could be good if these keep battling, because this could bring us back in to this Moto3 race. There's an almighty scrap at the front. Bouvet Amos and Garcia trying positions all the time, and because of that, we've just set the fastest lap at a 1:50.6. Quite incredible. I think that was quicker than our qualifying pace, but as you can see, we're probably half the deficit to Bouvet Amos and Garcia. We're not quite close enough yet, but Bouvet Amos just keep looking at the back of Garcia. To be fair, Garcia is defending really well, keeping his cool. And Bouvet Amos is as well, to be fair. I don't think any of them are going to try a Matsia-style kamikaze move, but we've roughly about halfway into this race. If we can catch the 2 front runners, it could be a brilliant freeway battle coming into the last few laps. It's really tight now. We seem to be cutting to about the same point every single lap, but these 2 are having a right scrap and mumgus. To be fair, they're not going that quick, and there's only been 1 overtake in the last lap, and that was, of course, at the corner we saw last, but we can go around the outside of Bouvet Amos. Not really fussed about trying to keep the position there, but he just keep it on the inside. As I was just saying, there wasn't an overtake between Garcia and Bouvet Amos from when I last cut away, so saying that it's manic at the front is a little bit of an exaggeration, but they are staying very close together, and now you can see with 3 laps to go, we're now in the hunt for the win. I'm really brilliant to take the win here, considering we've probably been 3rd best all weekend, but we're very close to Bouvet Amos. I think we can probably make a move going into one of the late braking corners, but it's going to be quite a risk, because if we start fighting with Bouvet Amos, Garcia could fall away, but of course Bouvet Amos is the guy we want to try and beat, because he's the man who was ahead of us in the championship by quite a while as well. Look at this, Bouvet Amos and Garcia side by side. The annoying thing is, as soon as I've come in there, Bouvet Amos has decided to tuck back in behind. So, yeah, but we are really close now. We just need to keep it on the road, keep it smooth, and not be too aggressive, and then we could have a chance at winning this on the last lap. But truly, this has been the gap for a few laps now. Unless we produce something very good in the next lap and a bit, I don't see us winning this. But 3rd place would still be a good result. Always so gutting and demoralising when the 1st place is so close. But a good run through there, and we're closer. And Bouvet Amos will go for this again, I would say. But Garcia really blocking him off this time. Look at how close the two of those are getting. But no, we've just not quite got the cutting edge, I don't think here. Boo Vamos going for the move, and he's going to do the block pass on Garcia, but Garcia might go up the inside. This could be a chance here if these two get too focused on their own little battle. But Garcia has lost the position now to Boo Vamos. That's a bit of a shocker for him. But we just can't quite get close enough to make a move, so we've got to hope that these two do it between themselves and let us in for the win. We just haven't got that cutting edge. As I say, if we were maybe a tenth or two quicker every lap, we'd be able to overtake for the win. But really, it's just not close enough, I would say. We're not we're not close enough to these two in terms of pace. That's so we're going to have to be quite lucky or launch a kamikaze move to win this race. Oh, jeez, look at that. Absolute wow. I mean, we touched the curb, but look at that coming out of that corner. That was absolutely bonkers. But let's see how we get on the rest of the lap. Well, frustratingly, we're not going to meet either of our objectives today. We wanted to beat Boo Vamos to make inroads on him on the championship. And equally, we wanted to beat Garcia. But unfortunately, we're going to drop behind Garcia in the championship, as well as Boo Vamos just having a sniff round that last corner. But Garcia and Boo Vamos really going for it at the line. We're just not close enough. It's going to be side by side between the front runners at the end of the race. But I think Boo Vamos is just about going to win it. And it's a good result for us nevertheless. We do lose one position, but it's a bit of a killer for the championship race. As you see, ours was the fastest lap, but only 2 tenths separated the top 3. We're now 4 rounds in. Boo Vamos pulls away, unfortunately, from us a little bit, and Garcia gets ahead. So it's pretty imperative, I'd say, in the French GP, that ourselves and Garcia get close to Boo Vamos, or else he's going to start running away with this championship. Well, that wasn't as clear-cut as I wanted it to be, really. Only 3rd place, but luckily we do get into Q2, and that's all that really matters, to be quite honest. We only set the 1 banker lap, so we probably will need 1 or 2 more laps in Q2, but not the best pace, and that's a little bit worrying for this battle for pole. But nice to see the AI giving us a good challenge. It's pretty close, and I think it'll be pretty close in this session as well. This is the end of our 2nd lap of the session. We did set the fastest lap until Canet beat it by literally about 200ths of a second, but hopefully we're going to beat that by quite a bit now. But we've got Booth Jones just ahead. Is he going to set a lap into 1:47.7, and we've set a 1:48 dead. So a little bit of improvement. I think we probably can improve to that 47.7. Now, I'm not a big fan of this track. It's probably the first one this season that I'm not a big fan of. I love watching it and I love the track itself, but I just feel like I don't flow around here. It's not playing to my strengths. A lot of tight corners and... oh, well, Garcia's just really set the bar. So I'm going to have to focus and see if we can get this half a second improvement. But if not, we're going to be in that lonely 3rd place. Well, this is going to be tight. We're just a 10th off Garcia's time after 2 sectors. We were about 300ths off in the 1st sector. So these last 2 sectors are going to be absolutely crucial. But we're certainly going to beat Boo Vamos if we keep this up and qualify 2nd once again to make it a replicated grid from Jerez. But pole would really put the icing on the cake, especially after a bit of a kick in the teeth with 3rd place last time. But we still have to focus. We're still going to qualify 3rd as it stands. That's a little bit of a corner cut. No, we've got an invalid lap. Oh, just trying to push it to the limits. Luckily, we've got enough time to get back round and set another lap. Be interested to see what the end of this lap is. So I'm going to keep pushing until the end just to see. That's not the best line to take through there. Just to see what the end of the lap is. But Boo Vamos is going very slowly. I think he's coming into the pits, and that's his last effort. So, one last effort. If we beat a 1:47.7, we go to 2nd. But, well, what would the lap be? It was a 4:33. We would have been on pole position. Replicate that maybe without the corner cut, and we're on pole. He's a lot easier sounding than it actually is. Oh, ho, 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 ho. We're a 10th up on Garcia's time. This is going to be immensely close now. With that corner cut, we did get pole, and it was quite a poor line we took through this corner last lap, and I think that's a lot better through there. So this could be pole. It might not be, but this is going to be our last chance. Let's focus. 2 corners to go. Right. Good through there. Might keep the pace through here. Along the last curve, just put our foot down. That's all we can do now. What is the time going to be? It's going to be a 1:47.459. And we have just... oh, goodness me. Look how close Boo Vamos was. Wow. What a session that was. We've took pole. And now it is time for the French GP.
What's going on, race fans? We're joining you from the Le Mans circuit for live coverage of the Moto3 race at the Grand Prix of France. The weather is great and the temperature is perfect for racing, so we're just waiting to find out which riders have opted for hard tyres and which have opted for soft.
The Le Mans circuit in its glory. It's absolute beautiful glory. Well, how are we going to get on? He's got our second win of the season. In unlikely circumstances, it's quite a tricky race for us, this is. But let's see how we get on. So we get to the grid. Of course, we need the win ideally ready today to stay with Garcia and Bouvet-Amos. But let's see how we get on. We're at the front of the grid for the second time, I want to say, so far this year. Or is it the third? No, I think it's the second time. The first being in America. And it wouldn't be bad to get a start like we've had in the formation lap there. Look how far we've pulled away. But let's see how we get on. Let's go to the start. Here we go. Not like anything to cause pressure than those two being on the front row of the grid with you. Lights are on for the 5th race of the season. And we are away. Let's just focus as much as possible on our start. How we get away. Not focus on anybody else. We've had a pretty good start. Not going to look behind us, because that is at our peril. As soon as we lost that first place at the first corner in a ref, we never got it back again. So let's just focus on our own efforts. Somebody might jump up the inside at this corner, but fingers crossed they don't, and they don't. So, going into turn 4 in the end of the first sector, we are ahead, and it's Masia who has jumped ahead of Bouvet-Amos and Garcia. Got a great start there. Bouvet-Amos and Garcia are not going to be happy with that at all, but if Masia stays ahead, it is Bouvet-Amos, though, unfortunately, who gets the jump. No, he doesn't actually. No, Masia is still ahead. I need to stop looking behind us. But a very good start from us. But I do fear that the other two will start creeping on us anytime soon. So we've managed to pull out a bit of a gap on the first lap, to be honest. It's Bouvet-Amos in second. Not quite sure who's in third. We'll find out now. It's Masia. Where's Garcia? All the way down in 7th. That'll really help our championship charge. And if Bouvet-Amos is 6th, I know he's second at the moment, but he's somewhere down there by the end of the race, that'll be massive. And I have to say, I'm really astonished at how well we've started here. Potentially just not focusing on our rivals, but focusing on our own riding style. And if we keep doing that, rather than looking at where Bouvet-Amos and Garcia are, we could have a very good result here. It's clear that Garcia must have made a mistake then at the start, because he's just set the fastest lap of the race at a 1:47.5, yet he's still down in 7th place. I don't quite understand that. So he's either been held up by the guys ahead, or he's made a little bit of a mistake and just tried to pull back to them. But Bouvet-Amos is about half a second behind us at the start of lap 4, but that's a manageable gap. We were that far behind. Oh, Masia's got past him, so that again will help the gap. Masia being quite a nice stopping point for us today, and I appreciate that. And if we can win this race, as I say, it'll do really well for the championship. And equally, if the likes of Masia beats Bouvet-Amos and Garcia is down in 5th, 6th, 7th place, that'll really help us in terms of the points total in trying to get close to our rivals. So, on to the final lap of the race. And I don't know how he's done it. It was quick, but he was 7th place last time he looked. And Garcia has fast-tracked his way all the way up to 2nd, past Bouvet-Amos as well, which I suppose isn't that bad, because then we do gain points on Bouvet-Amos, but equally don't gain as many as we'd want to on Garcia. I'd take a compromise of Garcia being down in 7th if it meant Bouvet-Amos was in well, you know what I mean. Bouvet-Amos being in 2nd, but, well, Bouvet-Amos has now dropped to 4th. Masia is really going for it on this last lap again. We said before, we don't want to focus on the riders behind us. We can look at the standings after the race is finished. To finish first you must finish. And Bouvet-Amos down to 5th now. What on earth is going on? Must just be a big cluster of riders really close behind us. But we've just focused on what we've needed to. Garcia is very close behind us. He's on a charge. He's definitely the fastest man today. So, as I've said, we haven't focused on anybody behind us. We'll keep making sure we discontinue that. And hopefully we should come across to win this race. But you just never know. We've got Garcia sniffing up our backside now. He's going to leave it late if he's going to win this race. But it'd be heartbreaking considering we've led the race without much issue. We've been the fastest man, clearly. But Garcia might have something to say about that. Only just a sector to go, though, now. Hopefully he doesn't dive up the inside, because that could take both us out of the race, which is certainly not what we need. And giving Bouvet-Amos probably the win and an advantage. But the race is so close. Only 2 tenths separate ourselves and Garcia. If he makes a kamikaze move, will we defend ourselves? He's gone for it, and he might well have got it. We were undefendable there. Well, unattackable almost. We couldn't attack. We've got 2 corners to go. We're going to put it down the inside. We're going to have to tap him. We're going to have to push him out. It's the only thing we're going to have to do. Up the inside into the last. Garcia's going to get it. That is unbelievable. That is absolutely unbelievable. With 3 corners to go, Garcia, the cheeky little so-and-so, takes it. And he's took the race win. That is gobsmacking. Oh, well, Bouvet-Amos finished down in 6th. But Garcia wins. That's gutting. After leading the whole race, we only finished 2nd. But let's have a look what the permutations of Bouvet-Amos being in 6 are for the championship. Oh, well, that closed things up a lot. Just a pity we didn't have that extra 7 or 8 points of winning, because we would have been a lot closer to Bouvet-Amos. So, we started the episode 17 points behind Bouvet-Amos, and you wouldn't really think much has happened because we've only gained a point on him. But 2 incredible races. But truly, I am absolutely gutted about not getting that race win. But we'll take 2nd, we'll take it on the chin, because we weren't the fastest man, and to be in the top 3 was probably a privilege. So, just can't believe how Garcia won that. Took us when we were weak in that last sector, and we just couldn't get past him. Trying to push him or what, we just could not get him to budge. So next up, it is the Mugello GP. It is the Italian Grand Prix, potentially a negotiation period, and then we go to Barcelona, Catalonia for the Spanish Grand Prix. So if you've enjoyed that, folks, make sure to leave a like down below, comment if you enjoyed as well, and subscribe for daily MotoGP content. But apart from that, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye for now.